Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kennedy if you're new here. If you are not new, welcome back. I know it's been a while. I took this month off from social media. I actually just made a post today, just kind of checking in. Some people were concerned about if I was okay or not, so I just wanted to pop in and let everybody know that I was okay. I think that's so sweet because I was honestly like, I don't know if people are going to actually notice that I'm gone. Like, should I say something? And so I never announced when I was taking a break. And honestly, I didn't really know I was going to take a break myself. I just kind of got to a point where I was like, I got to delete social media. Like, it's giving me so much anxiety. So that's exactly what I did. And I don't regret it. I'm actually recording this on October 20th. So I still have a few days left of this whole social media detox. But I wanted to record a video today that I've been meaning to record forever. Also, I was going to do my makeup, but then I was like, I actually don't want to. So why am I going to just do it for a video when, I feel like my skin looks fine, my face looks fine. I might have some under eye bags, but it is what it is. I just want to be authentically myself. And also, this isn't a podcast, but if you guys enjoy these videos enough, maybe it will be one day. I'm just kind of dipping a toe in the water, I guess. But anyway, back to the topic of today's video. It is about my fitness journey, and I want to do an in-depth video on how I got started, what mindset I was in when I started, and just the whole thing, because I don't think I've ever just sat down and went through why I started in the gym and why I started with fitness. And I think it's so important to see, and I think it can also just be very motivating. Maybe you're thinking about starting a fitness journey in the new year, or maybe you're just like in your winter arc right now, just like everybody else, and you want to start going after those goals. So that's what I'm here to talk about today. And if you don't follow me on any other social medias, I am a fitness, wellness, lifestyle. I kind of just post everything at this point. I used to just be strictly fitness, but now I've just kind of dipped a toe into lifestyle and I love it. And I've been lifting weights for, it was since 2021. So it's a little over 3 years now, which is crazy to think about because I don't know, the time just went by so quick. But the gym has always been a constant in my life, and it will always be a part of my life no matter what else I pick up or other things that I try out. I'm totally open to trying new forms of movement. My most recent hobby is roller skating, and that is a workout. It looks like it's like, oh my gosh, like so girly pop and like fun, but no, it's a workout, especially once you start learning new tricks and stuff. It is no joke. So that's been one of my main hobbies. But yeah, I'm going to stop yapping and we're just going to get into the topic of my fitness journey. So I guess I'll start in about junior high because that was really a turning point in my life. I feel like there's so much happening at that age, and I feel like I started to notice my weight a little bit more and maybe having crushes on boys and stuff like that. And I wanted to look a certain way. And also, my mom had brought up a health concern to me a few years prior to this as well. And I had high blood pressure at the time. The doctor had told her that my blood pressure was elevated. And she was like, we got to do something about this. We just got to start eating better. And I don't even think it was her fault. I think I was just binge eating because I was bored at home. I couldn't drive at that time. So I think I was just bored, and I was probably being a little bit lazy as well. We came up with a whole plan, and my mom has always, given my sister and I very balanced meals. We never kept a lot of junk food in the house. It just wasn't that type of household. We always made sure we had a protein, a veggie, and a carb on the plate. And she always tells us that. And I feel like she really did, implement in us the importance of having balanced meals. Now, my dad, on the other hand, he loves sweets and fried food. So they were like total opposites. It was like if she had a balanced dinner, he would bring home some sort of sweet treat or whatever. So there was only sweets in the house sometimes because of him, but they honestly didn't last long. So it wasn't like stuff was just in the pantry all the time, if that makes sense. So anyways, fast forward again to junior high. I decided to start running track, and I was not much of a runner before this, but my mom, I think she wanted me to get in something to where I could be social, because I was really just going to school, coming home, taking a nap, and then doing whatever in my room. And she wanted me to have some extracurriculars, which I totally understand looking back at it. And it was really fun. I did meet a lot of friends. The track meets are very social events, so I really enjoyed being there, and I really enjoyed the sport up until I had to run distance, which we'll talk about later. My coach did put me on distance, which I'm not a distance runner, by the way. So I started off as a sprinter. I was doing like 200 meter relays, 100-meter dash, like stuff like that. So I really enjoyed it. And my first year running track, I remember I slimmed out so much. Like, I lost so much weight. I don't even think I was trying. It was just my body was not used to all that activity. And I slimmed out so much. I was like a stick figure. That was probably one of my smallest points, other than college, like first year of college, which we'll get to. But I was so tiny, which is so crazy. I don't even know like how much I weighed. Honestly, I didn't weigh myself, but I just remember like all of a sudden, like when I went shopping, I could fit in like much smaller sizes. I had to buy smaller sizes, and everything was just like loose. And I remember I started feeling just really confident in myself. And then I think this is like when it took a dark turn, because I remember before track practices, I would barely eat lunch. I was like, oh no, like I don't need lunch today. Like the least amount I can eat, the better. And I think I just noticed kids treating me differently because I had lost weight and I was like cute now. I felt like I was, all that in a bag of chips all of a sudden. And I think that's when I really noticed the effects of weight loss in like social circles, especially. So I ended up running track 7th grade through freshman year of high school. And I ended up having to stop because I have asthma, and I ended up having a lung issue because if you don't know, for track conditioning, it's usually in the winter and it's cold out and you're doing distance running, okay? And my lungs were having this issue where they would just like close up in the cold, and my doctor was like, yeah, that's the thing, like the cold air can like constrict your airways. So I didn't end up running the rest of high school, and I didn't pick up any other sports or anything. Looking back, I probably should have, or picked up something, because I think without track, I was just like very out of the loop. I just wanted to like go to school and go home. I wasn't a big fan of high school. I didn't feel like I fit in. I didn't have a group. I kind of just talk to everybody, but I also feel like I had no friends at the same time. Like I didn't have beef with anybody. I just was kind of there and like a floater, I guess. I was also very quiet. I feel like anybody from high school that sees me now, they're like, it's like night and day difference because I actually talk now. I did not enjoy high school at all. But yeah, that was my only like extracurricular activity that I would do. Obviously, I would go to like football games and like social events as much as I could. But as far as doing a sport and something that was keeping me active, I had just fell off. And I don't think I really even prioritized moving my body at all until maybe junior year. Junior year, I got my first boyfriend, and he was super like gym bro-y. So he had me in the gym. We were actually working out together at Planet Fitness, and he was, teaching me different lifts and, really pushing me in the gym and stuff. And he was really into like wearing Gymshark, all those things. So I will give him credit for kind of just introducing me to that world in general. He was very helpful in that and like teaching me, correct form and stuff for exercises. So that was that. And that relationship eventually ended, and I did somewhat keep up my routine, but not really. I feel like I just kind of became a cardio bunny after that. I didn't really prioritize lifting weights. I think I just didn't understand the health benefits of it, honestly. So I stopped lifting weights for a little bit, kind of just went in there. If I did go to the gym, which I don't think I went consistently at all, if I did go, I was just doing like cardio, elliptical, treadmill, whatever, stuff like that. Maybe some abs. But yeah, I wasn't consistent at all. So that was high school. Senior year ended, and then I did attend community college for a few years. I did not finish. I am a college dropout. Okay. I just don't like school. I don't like it. So I went to community college, and this was just a low point for me. My ex actually went to the same college, and we were in a program together, and we had to see each other a lot. And I think obviously that was not a smart decision looking back to be in the same vicinity, but yeah, that happened, and I think that was really hard on me mentally. And I don't think I ate much at all, honestly. So my community college is downtown, and I would go to college, and then I also worked retail at a clothing store, Forever 21. Whoever knows Forever 21, that's what it was. I worked there for a while, and I remember I would be like in the middle of my shift at Forever 21, because the shifts were like 4 p.m. to like 1 a.m., like something crazy. I don't recommend working there. Yeah, the shifts were insane, and I would just try to eat like the least amount possible. I think sometimes during my shifts I wouldn't even get anything to eat. Like, it was bad, and I don't even know what clothing size I was then. I don't remember. It's such a blur, but I just remember so much brain fog because I was not taking care of myself. Yes, I was skinny, like the waist was snatched, but I did not feel good. I didn't feel good. I was not emotionally stable at all, like at all. I remember there were times I would pull up to school in the morning and I would be like crying on my way to school. I would just be like an emotional mess. And I don't know, I didn't understand the importance of, your physical fitness, your mental fitness, all of that stuff. And I was those are dark times. My second year of college, I ended up getting into another relationship, and this one lasted me a long time. It was very toxic, on and off type of relationship. And this guy wasn't super into the gym. I would say he was more of a homebody, and I definitely took on that as well. In the beginning, I would say the first year of our relationship, I was definitely super focused on my body because I was pretty insecure as a person, and I just wanted to make sure that I kept my body looking right for that relationship, not really for myself. And so we didn't really do anything but like sit in the house and eat. And, he also went to my college, so we would like leave school together and just like go hang out. It was a very just like codependent type of relationship. And that was my last year of college. Also he didn't continue either. And our relationship, progressed and stuff. And like I said, it was not a good relationship. It was very unhealthy. Eventually down the line, I want to say it was like 2 years in or something, we did end up moving in together. He actually moved into my place, and that was probably the worst decision I could have made. Obviously, I'm happy that I did it now because I learned so much from that experience. And we were just so young, and like we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into at all. So he moves in, and he ate a lot. I'm not gonna lie. He had a very big appetite. He's not like a small guy or anything, so he ate a lot. And I think like as a woman, sometimes you just pick up on your partner's habits and stuff. And so then I started eating a lot, and I was probably eating like bigger portions than I normally would. And this all happened so subconsciously that I didn't know it until looking back. I was like, oh, like if he's eating like that many slices of pizza, I probably don't need to eat that many slices of pizza because he's bigger than me. So I I don't know what happened there. And I also think I was just under a lot of stress. I was working a job that I didn't like. I was a dental assistant for a while, and the medical field is not for me, I don't think. I'm glad that I tried it because that job did allow me to move out of my parents' house. But yeah, I don't like it. Also, I don't think I mentioned I moved out in 2019. So I had my place for a little bit before my ex moved in with me. And I would say when I first moved in here, my fridge was like empty all the time. Like I had no type of routine or anything like that. So it wasn't like when I was by myself, I had it down pat, and then he moved in and then it went crazy. It was just nothing was set up to begin with. And I definitely should have taken the time to live on my own and figure out my own routine before bringing somebody else in. So yeah, we tried our best, but I think it was just like portion control more so. And just, he didn't have any like fitness goals really. He would just like kind of eat whatever whenever, and we would go in and out of like going to the gym together sometimes. And whenever we went to the gym together, I didn't really want to be there. Like I wasn't actually putting in any work when I was there. I was just kind of there to say like, oh, I went to the gym. So it was very much that, and I feel like he would try to encourage me to like lift heavy and stuff like that. And I think like sometimes I got to a point where I was like, do you want me to look a different way? You know, like I started taking it personally. And looking back, I think that was just me being young and insecure. Obviously, I think there's a way to go about that conversation. But yeah, he was lifting heavy and stuff. But it was really our diets. Our diets just weren't good. And I've always loved going on walks and stuff. So that's been like my main form of movement, I would say. So we ended up living together for, I think it lasted a year. We started having issues in our relationship, so that didn't last very long. Once he moved out and we broke up, we were like still in like a situationship for a little bit after the relationship. Just because I feel like when you're with somebody for so long, it's hard to just go cold turkey. It really is. Even though that's the healthy thing to do, don't get me wrong. It's very hard. So, we broke up, and in our last breakup, after like the whole situationship period that we went through, there was like a final sit down breakup, and he told me that one of the reasons we were breaking up was because he was unattracted to me because I had gained weight. When I tell you, that was probably the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Like the worst, like gut-wrenching thing I've ever heard in my life. Especially because I had told him before I had struggled with food. He knows when we first got together, I barely ate anything. And I obviously let myself get comfortable enough to eat and, you know, allow myself to enjoy food and have like food freedom and stuff. Maybe it wasn't in the healthiest way, but I don't know. I just feel like, of course, like physical attraction is important. And I get that, but there's a way to go about that conversation, and the way that he went about it was not the best. And I think he knows that too. So there's no hard feelings, but that was such a turning point in my journey. Just hearing that about myself. And I remember the next day I got up and I was like, I'm going on a run every single morning. Like, and I was at the point where I was still like in that begging period where like you want the relationship to work out. And I was like, I'm going to fix this. Like, I'm sorry that I let it get to this point. You're right, blah, blah, blah. It didn't stick because I wasn't doing it for myself at that point. I was literally just trying to get him back. So it wasn't like there's such a difference between like working out for yourself and like trying to look a certain way for somebody else. Like the motivation is just, it lasts a lot longer when it's for yourself. So it didn't last. And then I believe we broke things off, and then this was such a messy relationship, by the way. We ended up talking again, I think for a little bit, like, was it a year later, a couple months later or something? I just remember we ran into each other when we were like out at a bar, and then we ended up talking for like a few months after that too. And then we broke up again after like 3 months, like, of course, duh, because it's a toxic relationship. But after that breakup, I won't go into details here because this is very personal, but something traumatic happened. Very life-altering experience happened. And it was mostly happening, like, to me. I mean, he was also involved, but it was mostly happening to me. So after that, that was just the darkest time, like, emotionally to go through. And a few months after that happened, by the way, he was not there for me during that. He actually told me he needed a few months to, like, not talk. So I was dealing with a bunch of grief on my own. Throughout that time, I was like, I just need something stable in my life. Like, I have to do something because I was in such a dark, depressive hole. I remember shortly after the event happened, I went out to California with my mom to visit my sister. She lived out there at the time. And I was just trying so hard to be present. I had to take breaks to go up into my room and, like, just cry. And it was just such a dark time. I was just, like, looking up advice on the internet. It was dark. And looking back, I definitely should have been in therapy. I am in therapy now, thankfully, and, like, I'm unpacking all of this. But yeah, that was just a dark time. And I just remember telling myself, like, I have to do something. So when we came back, October, we came back in the October. I don't know why I remember it being October, just because October was rough. And Octobers have been rough for a minute since this happened, but they've definitely gotten a lot better now. But I remember that was just the month where all the grief had hit me. And I was just such a mess that month. And I decided that I didn't want to be in my hometown for a few months. So I asked my sister, can I come out there for a couple months and, like, until the new year? So I think I was out there, like, from Thanksgiving to after the new year. I just had to get out of my space. Obviously, my ex and I lived here, so there were so many memories in this place. And I went out there and I made a promise to myself that I was going to get up at 5 a.m. and drive myself to the gym. I made sure my sister was okay with me taking her car to the gym. I think I went to, like, a Crunch Fitness out there or something. And I just made that promise to myself. And that was all I looked forward to. That was my only goal of each day, was to make it to the gym. I wrote myself a little workout split. I don't even know if it was good or not, but I had to just do something, and I needed something stable in my life. And I needed to move my body and release all that pent up energy and emotion and just negativity that I was feeling. And that's really where my whole lifting journey started. I started with the 4-day split. I'm still on a 4-day split to this day. And through all the ebbs and flows of it, I think it's just been nice to have something stable and something to look forward to. So that was the first year of my fitness journey. And I think this grief that I was going through lasted way longer than I thought it would. And so I started in 2021, 2022. I would say 2022 to 2023, I packed on the pounds, okay? And looking back, I really think I just was so done with men, so done with dating, and I didn't want anybody to look my way, and I almost put on weight as, like, a shield of armor. Like, don't talk to me, basically. Like, I am so done. And I think I didn't even notice myself putting it on, but I think I just got in, like, such a deep depressive hole that I was subconsciously going to food to comfort myself. And I think I was just in denial about it, really, which is a scary place to be looking back, because I didn't even realize how much weight I had put on. I would say I only started noticing when, like, things started just getting harder for me to do, like walking on the treadmill and stuff. It just felt really hard, and that was really concerning. And also my asthma was acting up. I feel like weight gain and, like, a lot of sugar consumption really messes with asthma symptoms. So that was scary for sure. So yeah, I had gained probably, had to be like 30 pounds or something, because I was having trouble eating when I first started my fitness journey just because of everything that I had gone through. But then like the other shoe dropped and like I just started eating everything. And so I put on weight from like 2022 to 2023. And like I said, I didn't know. I didn't understand like that I had put on weight because I hadn't stepped on a scale. I was just telling myself like, no, I don't want to step on a scale. Like, it's not good for my mental health, which is true. But with me not stepping on the scale, I wasn't able to face the reality of where I was. And I didn't step on it until I decided to start my weight loss journey in August of 2023, I believe it was. And the main reason I decided to start that was because I didn't feel good in my body. I feel like society treats overweight people so differently. And as somebody that's been smaller before, to see that difference, because that was the biggest I've ever been in my entire life. To see that difference was shocking, to say the least, and surprising, and it just made me really sad. And I was like, I just don't want to be treated like this anymore. Like, I remember being at the gym and somebody like asked me to do my workout somewhere else so they could do something where I was at, and like just little like day-to-day interactions, you don't realize how differently you're treated in society as an overweight person. And having experienced that, it has just made me so aware of how I treat people, because everybody deserves love and everybody deserves respect at the end of the day. So yeah, I basically did my research, and losing weight is not complicated, but that's not to say it's easy either. Like, you have to eat in a calorie deficit, so you're eating less than your body burns at rest. And so yeah, calculated that using a TDE calculator, because that's what everybody said to do. And then I started tracking using MyFitnessPal. I logged in everything in there, and I started tracking my weigh-ins every week, and I just went for it. I was so locked in, so zoned in, and it was the best thing that I did for myself. I know I was a little bit, in denial about where I was. It was much needed, and I'm much in a healthier place for it. I'm actually on a second cut now, cut number 2. I feel like this isn't a cut, this is like a shred, because I have a lot less body fat on me, but I just want to push my limits a little bit and see where I can get to. And it's also just keeping me occupied right now. It's giving me something to do. It's giving me something to strive for. And the way my personality is set up, I need to be constantly going for something. So yeah, that's basically my fitness journey. I ended my last weight loss, last cut, whatever you want to call it, last weight loss journey in this year, like I think it was around April of 2024. I didn't reach my goal necessarily, but I did lose 45 pounds. I just decided to stop early because once you're dieting for a while, you kind of get fatigued and you feel exhausted. So that's what I decided to do, is just like kind of cut it early. I was like, I feel happy with where I'm at right now. If I want to do a second, cut weight loss journey, then I will. And that's what I'm doing right now. So that's just like where I'm at. I'm still lifting 4 days a week. I've also added in roller skating. That counts as activity as well. I do cardio at the gym. I'm tracking all my meals. I don't have any specific macros that I go for besides protein. I try to keep my protein pretty high, at least over 100 grams a day. I don't go too crazy on the protein. I think sometimes it's like OD. I mean, I can see if you're a bodybuilder or something and like you have to hit a certain amount of protein, but for me, just somebody that has physique goals and like likes to move their body and stuff, I need a lot of protein, but I'm not like crazy about it. Like, I don't need like 150 grams of protein or whatever, because that's really hard to do, honestly. Some days I'll hit it by accident. I'm like, woo! But sometimes it's just not there. But yeah, that's pretty much my fitness journey. I hope I answered everything. I just want to say, fitness is so much more than how you look. It's something that can give you stability in your life. I notice myself, feeling better trying new things, doing new activities. My confidence is a lot higher because that confidence comes from showing up for yourself. When you have a program that you're following and you follow it through, you prove to yourself that you can do it. And that's very powerful. That's what fitness really means to me. And it just got me out of such a dark place. It makes me I feel like I'm talking about a different person when I talk about that time in my life because it was so dark, but it was me and I got through it. And it was so heavy. And at the time I was like, I don't know if I can get through this. I don't know if I can do it. So yeah, if you're going through a dark time right now, this isn't to say the gym is going to make it all better, because it didn't just make it better overnight for me, but doing something for yourself, whatever that may be, can make it better. And I think that's the note that I want to leave this video on. Let me know if you guys like this podcast style video. Again, this isn't a podcast, but it could be, maybe. I just want to see how you guys feel about it. But I have a lot of thoughts to share and I like yapping. So I feel like this is a perfect platform for me. But anyways, that's all for this video. I'll put my social media handles in the description box below if you guys want to follow me on other socials and keep up with my life. But thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.